Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, Blissfully Single Bean. I'm your homegirl Bean, and I'm your blissfully single, and yes, tired one. If you look around, you can guess that I am not home. I'm actually on the road for work. I am in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and I just wrapped up an event, so I got to pack tonight, get ready for my next stop in Atlanta. I just love Atlanta. But then I hit Atlanta and then I go home. But I wanted to come through with a quick review of Cherish today because you know right now that is the show that I'm absolutely crushing on. So before I get into my review, I do want to apologize about the sound. I don't know what's going on with the sound. Usually I use my AirPods as a microphone, and it usually works fine for me when I'm at home. But for some reason, I sound like I'm in an air tunnel, which is not cool at all. So I'm going to try to get through this review really, really quickly. Plus, I got to pack, and I got a 6 o'clock flight, so I really got to keep things short and sweet. But, again, another stellar episode from the Queen, Ava DuVernay. Let's give her a clap. Yes. And I have to say, watching the episode, the theme, and this is what makes it such a great show. The theme that stuck out to me was acceptance, accepting love. And I got into this whole argument. Now, it wasn't an argument, but a friend of mine, he watches the show as well. And his argument was, well, why can't you just accept that a nice guy wants to do right by you and loves the hell out of you and wants to give you everything that you never got from the other guys. You need to keep the past in the past. You chose wrong with these other guys. Here I am. I'm a nice guy standing in front of you. Just accept it. Just take it. And I tried to explain to him it's not that simple, because when you come from, I don't know what the issues are for different women, but I know for me, I came from a broken home. Me and my ex, the trauma that I experienced in that relationship, oh my goodness. It's not easy to see a nice guy in front of you and to say, oh, well, we're going to walk off into the sunset happily ever after. It's not that simple, because there are scars that you get from trauma. You're damaged, you're bruised. And I saw that a lot in Gently. And I just watched like, what a piece of work. I just love Cherish today. So real quickly, we start with the episode, Parent Ben. And by the way, before I go into Parent Ben, I had to Google Parent Ben's name because King, I'm not going to keep calling you Parent Ben without shouting out the real you, Michael Beach. And every time I see Michael Beach, I always think about Waiting to Exhale and how he did Angela Bassett so wrong. But he really is acting black royalty. And Michael Beach has always been one of those actors. He was just pretty. He had the curly hair, that smooth skin, and just handsome as all get the hell out. So to see him play this role where he's rugged and he's not, it's not the stereotypical pretty boy role that I'm accustomed to seeing him in. So to me, his acting range, it stretches. I love this role. Like he like one of us, like rugged, like what's up? So Parent Ben is watering his petunias or roses or whatever in the backyard, and then Emma comes sneaking up on him. Uncle Ben turns around. Boy, are you crazy? You trying to get cat? Are you trying to get a cap up in your ass? You can't do this in this neighborhood. You can't be sneaking up on people. And Evan goes, I am so sorry, but he's a peace offering. And then he pulls out that bottle of bourbon. I said, yes, Evan, you almost got shot sneaking up on Parent Ben, but at least you bought something to, you know, make everything better. Evan says to Parent Ben he needs to talk to him about something very serious. And in my head, I'm like, that seems like a marriage conversation. But this can't be a marriage conversation because you guys have been on 3 or 4 dates, if that much. Well, according to TV World, you guys have been on 2 dates. But then I realized as I go through the episode, there's kind of a time warp. And a time warp is 1.5 years. So him and Gently have been dating for a while. Parent Ben says, all right, what's up? Come into the house. Evan walks into the house and he sees all these menses sitting around a table, drinking, taking shots of 40s. And Uncle Ben's explains that Lucky Buddy, one of them friends, passed away, so it's their yearly tradition where they come together and they stay up all night and they have some drinks. Yes, I am not mad at that at all. Evan is feeling a little bit taken aback. He wasn't coming in expecting to see all these grown ass men sitting around the table, so he does what he needs to do. He makes his way to the table. He's sitting against the wall because Parent Ben's house seems a little bit tight. So Evans is sitting against the wall trying to work up this conversation, and Parent Ben introduces all the men sitting around the table, and Parent Ben lets them know these are all of Gently's uncles. Basically, what you see, it's a community of men who banded together to help raise this little girl. And I thought, magic, beautiful. One of the uncles said, well, listen here, I was there to buy her first tampons with her. Another uncle says, I was there to get her condoms. And I said, yes, all rites of passages that we need to take with a parent, and namely a father, because that male presence in a woman's life is just pivotal, of utmost importance. And another one of her uncles talking about, I taught her how to drive. So the beauty of this scene, because black men get a horrible rap when it comes to fatherhood and raising children. And I have to say, the bad rap that a lot of these black men have, they bring on themselves. So to see a juxtaposition of that, to see the opposite, where you see these black men come together to raise a woman that didn't have a father, that was beautiful to me. Absolutely beautiful and poignant, really. Evan eventually makes his way to letting all of these guys know that he wants to marry Gently and he wants their blessing. And they eventually do give Evan his blessing. Evan is happy. And then Evan eats the grits that they shove in front of his face with all the butter and the sugar. Munch on. So in the next scene, we see Evan, happy as ever. He goes back to his house, and Gently's there brushing her teeth. So I said, oh, Gently spent a night, which again is another indicator that time has fast forwarded, and they got to a point where she's spending nights there, and she's very comfortable. So they go back and forth, a little chitter-chatter conversation. Gently mentions that Miss Luma played by the beautiful, the fabulous Cicely Tyson. Miss Luma is the older woman that Gently's taking care of. She says she has to check on Miss Luma because it's hot as hell in LA that day, and she doesn't want Miss Luma passing out or stroking out or whatever. So next scene, we see Gently just talking with Miss Luma and everything, and Gently is about to pass out. Gently's like, Miss Luma, child, you don't want to go to the library or something, read a book, enjoy the air conditioning? And Miss Luma, looking fabulous as ever, said, oh no, child, I'm used to the heat, I'm good. Meanwhile, Miss Luma looks like she's about to stroke out any minute now. I'm like, Miss Luma, if you don't take your behind down to the ShopRite or the libraries where you have some air conditioning, girl, please stop it. Evan goes office shopping with his friend. And it's in this episode I realized that the friend is actually his brother-in-law. The friend is married to his little stuck-up weird sister from last episode. So we come to see in this scene, I'm like, why is he shopping for office space? He actually left his old job, and he's looking to, it sounds like he's developed some kind of product that they're trying to get patent on or whatever, so they're looking for office space. His friend slash brother-in-law saying, well, we can't afford this. This is too expensive, XYZ, and he wants to do it. So I made the connection with last episode. Okay, so he really did follow his passion, and he left his, this VP promotion that was basically handed to him to follow his dream. I'm not mad. Go ahead, black man. Do it. Evan makes his way back to Miss Luma's house where Gently is there, and Gently is so happy to see him. They hug, and they're outside talking. Miss Luma opens the door, and Miss Luma says, oh, I gotta go. My friend something is here to pick me up. We are going out. I said I didn't want to go out, but my friend, I'm going out, honey. So Miss Luma takes a couple of steps. Evan acts like he's going to walk her, and he goes, "Thank you for setting that up for me." So they set everything up where Miss Luma was going to leave with her friend. So now that frees up Gently to go somewhere with Evan. So Evan whisks Gently off away to some place romantic. But before they get there, they're in a car and they're jamming to music. And the way that they're vibing, to the music. At first, she's making fun of his sense of music, his style of music, but then he puts on something that they can both jam to. It just shows you the power of music, because I have a friend like that too, where we connect through music. One time we were driving in a car together, and I never thought much. I've always seen Drake as kind of poppy. He put on Drake's old stuff, like old, gritty, before the pop Drake. And then as we were jamming together, it's like, this is a connection that supersedes any kind of words. You know what I mean? Music just has a way of binding people together that goes beyond words, that goes beyond the physical. So watching Gently and Evan rock out to the music like that, that was really cute. Get to this fabulous, this fabulous hotel. So I guess Evan took her away for a day or something like that. And I'm just looking. They had these electric curtains that opened, and then it revealed the ocean. I said, hot diggity, damn, that's gorgeous. And then Evan asked Gently to open this bag. Gently opened the bag, and he brought her this beautiful green dress. And in that moment, she says, "Why are you doing all this for me?" And Evan says, "Can a man do something nice for his lady?" And it's like, yeah, Evan, you can do something nice for your lady, but when your lady is not used to receiving this kind of princess treatment, it's hard for us to accept it. And that's one of the points I was arguing with my friend about tonight. It's hard. It's hard for me to accept a nice guy doing nice things for me, because I always feel like, all right, either it's not going to last, or I feel like it's going to be a lie. I don't trust it. And there's nothing rational in me not trusting it. I just don't trust a good guy because of my insecurities tied to what I've been through in the past. So when she asked him, why are you doing this? Why are you doing these nice things for me? I felt it in my soul. I felt it in my soul. They go hiking, because of course he got her some hiking boots. And there was a point while they were hiking, he explains to her that his grandfather used to take him hiking, and these were the best memories that he had. And he looks over to Gently and says, maybe we can create that as our own tradition. And he walks on, and then she looks petrified, or she looks worried, and she's looking around. I'm like, girl, what you worried for? But then I realized that's probably her realization that he wants more. He wants to progress. He's not trying to date Gently for the rest of his life. He wants to make her his family, and he wants to create traditions for her. So she's on alert. She's nervous. They get back to the room. He's taking a shower. He pokes his head out and says, there's room for you, but that would probably make us late to these dinner reservations that I made. So she says, you know what? Okay, I'm coming. I'll join you. So he pops back into the shower, and then she's already suspicious. So she starts going through his stuff, his bags and everything. And then she found it. She found exactly what she was looking for, which was an engagement ring. They end up at dinner, and he's talking about how much he loves her, and that's when he drops the reference of them dating for a year and a half. And she tries to interject and say, Evan, I know what you're going to ask me, but before she could even get that out, he says, hold on, don't talk. I have a surprise. And then out come the guys with the violins. Yes. And then he proposes to her, opens up that ring. Now, see, when you're at this moment, of course she has her doubts, and it's apparent to me she doesn't want to say yes, but you're in this restaurant full of people. All eyes are on you like, child, he just proposed. But she felt obligated to say yes. So in that moment, she says yes. But while she hugs him, you can see on her face it was no. After that, they end up on the beach. They're walking. Of course, he's goes from 0 to 100. When I tell you, Evan reminds me of my friend so. Evan's already talking about planning the wedding, and her mind is going, in so many different directions. And she stops him and she says, "Evan, no, I can't do this." And Evan's confused. Evan's like, "You just said yes to me." And she says she's not ready. She needs time. Evan is pissed. Evan goes storming off. He goes to the bar. Yeah, that's where you would need to be. That's where I would need to be, honey. You just, proposed to a woman. She said yes, and only a few minutes later, she's saying she's not ready for him. He goes to the bar. He gets a shot of gin. Ooh, gin tastes like rubbing alcohol. Ooh, I had gin in, what was it? Was I in New Orleans? No, in New Orleans I had bourbon. But I've had gin before, and I'm like, for this kind of taste, I might as well I might as well go down to the Walgreens, get rubbing alcohol, and go to town. Yeah, no. Anyway, he had a shot of gin, and he tosses the engagement ring to the bartender and asks if he can get rid of it. And I'm like, that is so random. You couldn't wait to hold on to the ring to see if there's a pawn shop in your area. That was just the weirdest thing to me. The bartender looks at the ring, and the bartender says, "How many carats is this?" Evan talking about 10 carats. I said 10 carats. I said, hot damn. I Googled 10 carats. You know, a 10-carat ring could cost between $16,000 and $224,000. That is not a cheap ass diamond, depending on the clarity, the weight. That's all great. $16,000. You know what I could do for $16,000? For $16,000, I could replace my roof, all the siding of my house that I want to. I can replace all of that, or I can do my cabinets for $16,000. I said, hold up. Bartender is like, okay. The bartender sensed that something happened and he's hurt. So the bartender says to him, "Listen, hold on to it for a couple of days before you make this decision." And Evan's in his feelings. Evan's like, "No, please, get rid of it." Gently is at parent Ben's house, and I'm on limited time, so I wasn't able to take photos and post the photos to this review. But her silhouette, she was in a, it looked like not really a doorway, but it was a cutout. And Gently is like this, just crying, and the way that she's positioned, it just accentuates that she's sad, and it accentuates agony. I just love the positioning. I loved it. Uncle Ben is at the side, and he's looking at her, and he's letting her cry, and she says, I just couldn't. I just wanted to say yes to him, but I just couldn't. And Parent Ben says, you're afraid. You're afraid to trust in good things happening to you. He says, baby girl, you have to let it go. You have to let your mother go. You have to let your father go. And trust that you're good enough. Trust that you're worthy enough to have someone like Evan in your life. And I said, Michael Beach, you better give a word. Because we as women, and as men too, because men and women, we have the same experiences. There's certain things that we go through where we feel like we're just not good enough. And I've never felt good enough. I've never felt worthy enough of love. I've never felt good enough for someone to treat me like a princess. I've never felt good enough for marriage. And my ex told me that this marriage thing will never happen. I'll never want to marry you. So we take these things and we internalize these things, and we build walls around ourselves so strong that when you find a guy who wants to penetrate these walls and chip away at it and give us exactly what we need, we can't accept what we need because we're so fucked up from the past. Gently understands this. Gently says to him, but I want him. I want him. I want to be with him. And Parent Ben says, then go get him. And that she did. She ran her little behind down to his apartment. Now, at this time, Evan is all, you got Evan all messed up. Evan is talking to the friend slash brother-in-law, and the brother-in-law is telling him about, some issues he's having with his wife, aka Evan's sister. And Jelly goes there. Jelly says, Evan, are you there? Are you there? Here comes friend slash brother-in-law throwing dirt, not throwing dirt, but just for being a hater. You ever have friends like that are being haters instead of encouraging you to patch things up with your significant other? They're trying to cause the divide because misery loves company. Right now, his friend slash brother-in-law is in an iffy space with his wife. So, of course, he doesn't want Evan and Gently to come together because he needs his little partner in crime for the impending divorce, it seems. So he's like, you really gonna go down there? You really gonna listen to her? So it looks like he's on the second floor. He peeks his head down to see Gently, and Gently was honest. Gently says, I was afraid, but at the end of the day, I want to be with you. So Evan goes downstairs. The brother-in-law's like, you really gonna go downstairs? No. So Gently's downstairs, and then the brother-in-law leaves and makes his way out. Doesn't even greet Gently or anything. Just straight walks by all brute-like. I'm like, I don't like your vibe. I really don't. So he goes away. So then Evan goes downstairs, and Evan and Gently have their conversation, and Gently says to Evan straight up, I was scared. You loving me in this way, something just didn't feel right about it because I've never had it before. And for me to go to this next phase called marriage with you, that was too much. And Evan says, listen, marriage doesn't mean that we're perfect. It's not perfection. It just means that when the hard times get here, you have somebody standing right next to you through everything. And Gently says, I want to stand. I want to be with you through everything. So then Gently proposes to him. Gently says, Evan, will you marry me? And Evan says, listen, I cannot go back to your parent Ben talking about you re-propose to me. So then Evan turned around and proposed to Gently, and she accepted this time. And she accepted with 100% certainty that this is the man that she wants to marry. He picks her up, he swings her, and you can feel the joy. I just love it. Let me tell you something. Black people, I'm talking to you black people. Can you give us an additional season after this season? I say all this to say, because shows like this, shows that display a raw type of love, shows that display emotional maturity, shows that display growth. These shows are not picked up for season 2, 3, and 4. So black people, can we please watch? It's worth it. It's worth a watch. And when I tell you this is my favorites right now, it's so much of my favorites. I'm tired as hell. I gotta be on a flight early tomorrow morning. But like, no, hell no. I'm not going to bed without reviewing this and posting this on my YouTube channel. So that was my review of Cherish the Day. I'm cherishing the day. I'm cherishing the episodes. I'm cherishing the whole damn show. So I hope you like my review. Again, I'm sorry about the audio. Hopefully you guys stuck around with me, for a couple of minutes. But please like, comment, and subscribe. I work on resumes, so I'll leave my information in the resume. I'll leave my information in the description box. So if you need any help with resumes, please hit me up. Please. It's 2020 and you need a good resume on file. Child, I'm trying to brush mine up because with the nonsense I'm doing with that work, maybe it's time for me to start looking for some other thing to do. But yes, all right, guys, you have a wonderful, blessed night. You have a fabulous week, and I'll see you in the next one.